Welcome back to season two.
We're back.
Yes, season two. I know, long anticipated. Big word for me, but we're back. Another season. We did not get canceled. We're
Right.
not woke. We can't control the weather like some people think, but we're back for season two of Hanging with the Howards. I'm, of course, Brian Howard.
I'm Tish.
Oh, I can't believe she can even say her last name. It's all good. But nah, we want to pick up kind of where we left off and just kind of give a little recap. Obviously, at the end of season two, we talked a little bit about buying, or excuse me, season one. My fault. My wife always out here correcting me.
You know.
But so, anyways, talked about buying a house, purchasing a house,
Yes.
looking at houses, and Tish, just tell us a little bit about that particular process and protect and the closing experience as well.
Um, we had a very interesting closing. I am a real estate agent in Arkansas as well, and in Arkansas, at least where I'm from, the buyer and the seller are never together.
Never together.
So, like, usually the buyer always goes first to make sure that everything closes, everything is good, no hiccups or anything. And then the seller comes back later on. It could be right behind them. Either way, the seller comes back after the buyer closes and do their closing. However, here in Alabama, which we're learning some very interesting
Mhm.
facts about Alabama.
A little slower.
Yes. Everybody's in the same room. So I don't we had touched a little bit on the last podcast about the negotiations and the tension and all of that kind of went along with finally closing, coming up with an offer and acceptance on the house. But then we had to go sit in the same room with not only the guy, but his dad, who apparently is like an accountant or something. Like that's supposed to anyway, I'm not gonna I'll stop there. But anyway, yes, the buyers and the sellers are in the same room. And prior to us getting to closing, Brian and our agent had a very interesting encounter.
Yeah, and for those like Tish said, so like closing day is like the biggest day that there is. And so I met up with the agent, our agent, Blair Bragg. Hope she don't mind that I use her name, but shout out Blair. She was amazing during the whole process. And one of the things we met at the house about an hour and a half before closing,
Mhm.
just do like that one last walkthrough and everything. And we're in the back bedroom and we hear the front door open, and here it is. It's the seller, and he walks in. He wanted us to move the cars if we could because he left the Christmas tree in the attic. I guess that's a big thing. Leave the Christmas tree, whatever. So in the process of all this, we're having a conversation. He has a question about one of the line items in on the closing sheet, and Blair is trying to explain this to him, right? And then all of a sudden his dad walks in, and his dad is at first really hot, not understanding Blair, didn't really have anything or wanting anything to do with Blair, and even said that we nickled and dimed him through this whole
Mhm.
process. Now, rest assured, this house was appraised for exactly what we bought it for. Imagine that. So, how can we nickel and dime somebody? You know, all we really asked for through the whole process was the refrigerator. Like, that's all we asked for. So, I kept my cool and my composure and everything, and absolutely, because I don't want to ruin closing day, and so the seller actually reached out to his agent, and she literally said, "Do not touch anything on there. Do not mess with the numbers." Meaning, if you mess with those numbers, that means we got to go back to the drawing
Yeah,
board.
we're not closing.
Yeah. So, fortunately, everything worked out. We went to the close. again, being in the same room was a little bit different. I was
Mhm.
not quite used to that as well. I have only purchased the house one time previously, and sold it too. So for me, this was something new and exciting at the same
Mhm.
time. But certainly, that was probably the most interesting thing.
Mhm. Yeah. So we finally got to closing. Everything went well. You know, keys were exchanged. I think we may have shook hands. I don't know, took some pictures. And then the real work began with the moving and all of that. So we got all of that done. In the meantime, this is August 9th. In the meantime, August is a very big travel month for me as far as going back home to Arkansas. We have our little family reunion, little picnic or whatever on that first weekend in August. And then about 2 weeks later, I go back to help my daughter move into college. So in the midst of all of the moving, all of the stress and stuff, I was gone the weekend before closing and ended up being gone, I think, the weekend after closing. So with all of that going on, I was doing a lot of traveling. And I think I drove both times, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I did. About 7 hours. So yes. So a lot of traveling back to Arkansas, which, it was okay. But August is always a very busy month. So we just happened to throw a house in there, you know, in the midst of all of that.
Not only that, I mean, it was incredibly hot out, and the packing and the moving and the moving of the truck twice and
Mhm.
everything. So yeah, it was a lot. And before we continue, I just want to give a big shout out to Alabama A&M University. Happy homecoming on the
Yes.
hill! Can't wait to
Busy week.
celebrate. It is a huge week, but we had quite the demand for a podcast, and we said, why not bring this season back? So
Let's do it.
let's do it. But yeah, August is an incredible. It's busy month for you. It's a busy month for me. So
Mhm.
also in the midst of you traveling, football season's going on, football practice, soccer games, volleyball practice,
Volleyball. Yeah.
volleyball games. So there was a lot going on, and for us to pull this off, that was certainly amazing.
Mhm. And I would like to give a thank you to the Alabama A&M baseball team.
Absolutely.
They came and helped us get moved in. That was really nice of them. So we'd like to show our appreciation, of course, to them. They've helped us
Twice.
twice now.
Twice.
So real good fellas over there at A&M.
Yeah, I think Coach Jones does a great job, a phenomenal job, and
Mhm.
him and his staff. But not just that; those young men on that
Mhm.
baseball team willing to go out and I mean, we tried to give them pizza one time. We tried to
Mhm.
pay them. No, no, they don't want that money. They just do it out of love
Mhm.
and really community service. So,
Right.
I'm certainly appreciative of them.
Mhm. So we got moved in. I made my trips to Arkansas. He's getting ready for football, volleyball, soccer season. And what else?
You brought a package
I
back
brought
this second time.
a package back
Yeah.
with me
Yes, ma'am.
from Arkansas, which was my daughter and my grandson. And some of you may have seen some of the pictures on, I think you had on Facebook and maybe
Absolutely.
Instagram of our little grandbaby. He's so sweet. But they did. They came and stayed with us for about 3 weeks.
2.5 weeks,
Yeah,
I
two and a
think.
half, 3 weeks. And it is so quiet and lonely
I gotta
with
be honest. I miss him.
without him.
I,
Yes.
I, I miss him, and this was my first opportunity to meet the little
Hmm.
guy, and I just had an absolute blast. I really
Hmm.
did, and I just loved on him as much as I could.
Hmm.
Played with him, taught him some wrestling. Made him watch some wrestling
Yes. And
actually,
he
and
actually was watching it.
absolutely, main event Jey Uso got a
Yeah.
yeet.
Try to teach him how to yeet.
That's right.
Hmm.
and then try and teach him some football at the same
Yeah.
time. And we were watching a football game, and he was pretty much resting on my chest, and but he was wide awake, and there was an interception. I went, yeah, but then I looked down at him, he looked at me, and then he starts crying. So,
Yeah.
I hope the next time I see him, I can at least show him some real football action and get excited without him crying.
Yeah. That was so fun. You miss your kids, but when you have those grandbabies, he's our first grandbaby, and it's just like you love your kids, but it's like, where's my baby?
Right.
Put the camera on him. How are you doing today? Okay, now where's the baby? What has he been up to? So, as parents, you kind of fall back. Once you start having kids, that's kind of where we are with our grandson. We love our daughters, but the grandbaby is precious.
Yeah, I didn't realize, how much I would one love the grandbaby, but
Hmm.
also miss them, and
Yeah.
and, and, and it is. It's quiet. And, the most interesting thing is as you were getting ready to depart for yet another trip, the AC in the house went out. So,
Oh yeah. Add that in there.
yeah, band of brothers. AC goes out, and she leaves town, and I'm left sweating in the house. But no, we made it work, and we got everything fixed. So we're happy to be, up and running full speed.
Mhm. Those are just some of the joys of home ownership. Things are going to break. Unfortunately, we didn't have our home warranty set up yet, but believe me, as soon as that happened, we got the home warranty. So, just a quick little note for you homeowners. Um, yeah, get the insurance.
Absolutely.
Get the home warranty. It's worth it. $600-700 a year. If something breaks down, you pay like $150 for it. It's definitely worth it. So we kind of procrastinate a little bit, and we paid for it literally.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. And you had big news as well. I mean, through the midst of all this stuff, and you start a new job
I started a new job. Once again, all of this is happening in August. So I started a new job, a new director's job.
and your birthday.
Yeah, oh, my birthday was in August too, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
and my daughter and my grandbaby were here, so they were able to celebrate with me for my birthday. So that was neat because it's been a while. It's usually just, well, I guess the last year or two maybe they haven't been with me,
Right.
but that was really nice to have them to celebrate my birthday. Um, but yes, the end of August, I did start a new job doing pretty much what I did back in Arkansas for a director of rehab position. So I've been there now for about a month and a half. So it's going pretty good so far. I'm kind of, getting back in the routine of the management piece. So it's going pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited for you, and just happy that you have that abilities, and the job,
Mhm.
and something that you enjoy. Now the traffic, on the other hand,
Oh, yes.
yeah, the traffic that first day, man, boy, you were not prepared for that
I
at all.
was like in tears the first day because, first of all, where we used to live, this job is literally 5 minutes away from where we used to live. Now he got me out here in the country.
Country, man, we
In the
country,
country.
we country
So
out here.
now it takes me about 20 minutes to get to work, which is not too bad. However, that first day I was already stressed and like, okay. So I put my GPS on and everything. It took me 45 minutes,
Yeah, you were a little stressed out
I
on that
think,
first day.
to get to to work. And actually, you know what? That wasn't even this job I have now. This was a job that was actually closer. It was my previous job that was closer, but it took me 45 minutes to get to work. And by the time I got to work, I was like in tears. I was like, I can't do this every day. This is too much.
Too much.
I can't do it. But ever since then, it's been about 20 minutes to get to my new job. So, but I definitely put the GPS on every morning just to check to see how traffic is looking because people drive like, oh my gosh, and we got to go up this mountain
Chapman Mountain.
and
Yeah, they drive like it's the Autobahn
I,
out
I
here.
can't. It's like when I get to work, I'll be like, oh, I made it.
Whether it's home or
So,
work.
yeah, both ways because it's always wrecks on that mountain. People are like rear-ending people, being too close, driving
Absolutely.
too fast, and it's just I mean the parkway one really a whole lot better.
Right.
But with this, you're going like up, kind of up in elevation up the mountain a little bit. So we're making it work, but I do sometimes think, man, I could have been 5 minutes from work, but it's okay. I'm kind of getting used to it now.
Well, that's good.
So
That is
yeah.
good.
So we've had a lot going on, in which 90% of that happened in August.
Absolutely.
So it was a crazy month for us, but we got through it, and it was all good things. So it was just a busy month for
Yeah, it really was, and added on. You had something exciting, obviously, starting a new job, and for me, I kind of elevated into a different role at
us.
work as well, um, moving into a radio personality, I guess you could say, on the football side of things. So for all the way games, I am the color commentator, the color analyst for Alabama A&M football, and it's been a joy. It's been an absolute joy. Now, I mean, that first game was at Auburn, and it was like the scoreboard didn't move in the first quarter. There, I mean, not one time, but it's been a joy, not just to elevate into that role, but to also get to know some of the players, some of the storylines, the coaches. I think that why I got into this position or into this job and into this career is to share stories and to just make an impact in their lives. I always say that I don't do this job for me. I do it for them. And so I certainly a shout out to the football coaching staff and the football program and my broadcast partner Ted Dixie and his gorgeous wife Sabrina. They just got married not too long ago as well, so definitely want to shout them out as well. But yeah, it's been an adventure over these last month and a half, I
Mhm.
guess you could
You sound really good on the radio. I've been listening in. He's been behaving. He's been doing really good.
say.
I know it's some things when he paused, was like, uh-oh. He's had to think about what he's gonna say, so he don't say the wrong thing. But he's done really well. He's fit into that role very well.
Yeah, um, you gotta not criticize the officiating, and I think this last game that we had, there were some times I probably did say some things, not necessarily with the overall officiating. I think they did a fairly good job, but there was just some minor things that I mentioned. But at the end of the day, it's fun. For
Mhm.
me, it's fun to get on there and just be the color analyst and add a little nugget here or there. Ted's
Mhm.
calling the game. All I gotta do is add a couple nuggets.
Mhm. You seem to really enjoy it.
Absolutely, I sure do.
You see the smile on his face, just like, yes, I love it.
Absolutely. But like we said earlier, we're just happy to be back for another season and everything. And we just are so thankful to our loyal listeners out there.
Yes.
I know there's some huge fans in Ohio, in the
Mhm.
wonderful state of Ohio.
True.
OH, Io. That's right, little Ohio right there,
Mhm.
and everything. So we want to thank everybody for just tuning in, and like everything else in our podcast and in our lives, everything is always
Worth
worth
the
the
wait.
wait. That's right. So we'll just keep on rolling.
See you next time. Oh my
Yeah, let's
gosh.
keep on rolling. Yeah.
Should have known. Bye.
Bye.